What is going on, everybody? NGM here, and we are back again for another Minecraft Let's Build video, continuing the series of building all of the Haunted Mansion facades. Last episode we completed the Florida/Tokyo version of the Haunted Mansion, as you can see in the background. And in today's video we are going to be traveling to the lovely country of France. And we are going to be building the facade of the Phantom Manor in what is probably universally agreed to as being the most beautiful Disneyland ever built, Disneyland Paris. So you can see here we are beginning this build by constructing a portion of the stairs that takes you up to the front porch. This will allow us to figure out just how high the foundation is going to be, so that we can figure out where to, what elevation to actually begin the house. Unlike last episode where we built the house on the flat ground and we had to lift it up to create room for the little porch area. So now we got that all figured out. Now we begin construction on the house itself. First, trying to figure out what to do with this front door. Now, originally I was going for that little nether brick you saw right there, but it was too dark, and I just stuck with the regular brick. And then, continuing the trend of window design, I completed that wall and copied and pasted it over here, and then began to detail it up, kind of get an idea of how the overall theme of this house is going to be, detail wise and just style wise, putting in the windows there. And now we begin to fill in the rest of the walls. This project, I was a little bit all over the place at times. I'd start at one area, then I'd switch to another, and just stuff like that. But now finishing off the foundation and this little back porch area to give access to this little back door that kind of sticks out of the back of the facade. Now we move to the right side of the house, and we begin to build the stairway that leads up to the little porch that just kind of sticks out of the side of the house right here. This area of the house was a little bit tricky to outline at first, because things weren't really lining up to my liking, but I figured something out and I just stuck with it, and in the end it turned out. Here's a good example of what I just said before about jumping back and forth. I started with that, and then I just jumped over to this side of the wall, or to this side of the house, to complete that wall, and just complete this side in general. Now, being that this is the Phantom Manor, and I have built the Florida, Disney World, and Disneyland versions of the Haunted Mansion facades multiple times before, this one was a little bit tricky because I've never built the house facade for the Phantom Manor ever. This is my very first time tackling this build, and as you can see me filling in the porch design, you'll see me right around here trying to figure out how to decorate the top portion of the porch. I ended up going with spruce trap doors with an alternating dark oak slab to kind of give it a little popping texture, and you can see it better from inside, which I don't think we do get a good view. But anyway, moving on from that, which I actually got one last point for the porch. I actually really like the design that came up with that nether brick wall and the trapdoors and all that. Anyway, now we move on to the second story of the house, where I begin to fill in the roof to the porch, as well as I just built the infamous 3 windows, very reminiscent of the Psycho house. And these 2 windows were a little bit tricky because in the actual facade they are smack dab right in the center, in between the two windows on the first floor, but because I'm doing it at a width of 2 blocks, it doesn't really work that way. So I just centered them into the wall and just called her good. And pretty much just copying what I did on the floor below, but this time adding in those dark oak trap doors to kind of simulate the little window shade or little window doors. I can never remember what they're called. And you'll see me here doing a little bit of world editing. I made a few mistakes and had to start over a little bit because my initial height for the second story was a little bit too short, so I had to bring it up a block. Then me putting in some final touches on those front 3 windows. And now we actually come back to this side of the house and finishing off this porch. So now that I have an idea of the design for the actual porch in the front, I can then just duplicate it over here and continue my work from there. Now these 3 windows of the second story was what I was dreading the most, but I ended up making it work, so it ended up working out. The middle window is only 1 block wide compared to the 2 that are 2 wide. I was trying to go for all 3 windows to be a width of 2, but in the end the outlines didn't line up that way. But in the end I made it work out, and it looked pretty good. Now we begin on the center turret of the house, as well as figuring out just how high to make it. I started with the center turret instead of the roof. That way I can get an idea of just how tall the center turret is, and using that as a reference I can figure out how tall the roof would be. Now I don't see a lot of people ever using this block for these kind of roofs, but acacia bark is pretty good, gives a pretty good texture to gray colored roofs, and it kind of just breaks it away from the stone bricks, so it's not just all stone brick. It gives you a different variant. And then right there I just got done finishing off one of those little overhang window thingies that sticks out of the roof, and I pretty much just scattered them all throughout the top of the house, and then final touches on the actual roof before we begin the roof of the center turret. This one took a little bit of experimenting. At first it was too short, and then I got the right height, and then I just figuring out how to simulate that sloping up effect, which I feel like I got a pretty good hand on in this build, and topping it off with the iron up top. And now moving on to the back of the house, there's just 2 windows right there, and this little back entryway that there's little to no pictures of, and you can just barely see it in Google Maps, but I did what I could. And then realizing that I hadn't fully finished this side porch here, I added the side door and 2 windows to really finish it off. Then you'll see me here adding some dark oak stairs to kind of break up the flatness of the wall. Then just going around the house, just filling in some details, breaking some things up, and then finishing off the porch with the railing design that I have on the stairs. Then pretty much final touches, I put in the lamps on the porch, and you can see me standing in front of the porch right there for what I assumed to be the outro of the video, but then I realized that I completely forgot to put in the chimneys. So just quickly kind of half-assing these chimneys, I kind of made a very simple design, just kind of did it for all 3 of them. The second one being a little bit wider with 2 blocks instead of just the 1. And now we can begin the 360 panorama. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This build took me a little bit longer than the other two, as this was the first time I ever built this house, so I had to figure some things out on the spot. But if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like, and of course subscribe for more videos, and leave a comment down below what you would like me to, or what you'd like to see me build. I have a few ideas, and once all these haunted mansions are done, but leave a comment down below saying what you guys would like to see, and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.